So imagine this. You have been staying at the office until like 2 in the morning for 3 straight weeks.
Oh, wow. Brutal.
Yeah, just completely brutal. And you're doing this just to save a massive project that was honestly completely going off the rails.
Right. You're just putting out fires everywhere.
Exactly. You put out the fires, the project finally launches, and it is a massive, undeniable success.
Huge relief.
Huge. But instead of just feeling, quietly satisfied about it, you feel this overwhelming itch.
Oh, I know that it.
Right. It's a burning, almost physical need to make sure your boss, your colleagues, and maybe like half of your LinkedIn network knows exactly whose blood, sweat, and tears saved the day.
Yeah, you just want to casually, drop it into conversation.
Totally. You want that little hit of validation.
It is such a visceral feeling, honestly. I mean, we all have that creeping desire for the spotlight, that reflex to ensure our actions are seen, categorized, and publicly validated. It just feels so completely normal.
It really does. And on the surface, that little humble brag feels entirely harmless. But the source material we are diving into today suggests that this deeply ingrained habit is, well, it's anything but harmless.
Yeah, it's actually incredibly destructive, according to the text.
Right. So we are looking at a really fascinating philosophical lecture that was delivered in Seoul, South Korea in August of 2024. And it centers on this concept called gongkisa.
Gonkisa, yes.
Yeah, which roughly translates to the act of claiming credit or like actively fishing for compliments. And the speaker argues that this seemingly innocent tendency is actually sabotaging your success on a massive, almost cosmic scale.
And what makes this text so compelling for anyone listening right now is that it completely reframes the entire conversation.
Oh, for sure.
Like, this isn't a lecture on basic workplace etiquette. It isn't, an HR seminar telling you to be a better team player.
Right, it's way deeper than that.
Exactly. The speaker is offering a deeply systemic, almost mechanical look at how human energy, merit, and interconnectedness actually function. It treats these social dynamics almost like literal laws of physics that govern our lives.
And that's what I want to figure out first. If we look at this through the lens of physics or, mechanical laws, why exactly does the urge to get a gold star backfire on us?
Well, it all comes down to transactions.
Okay, because from a traditional career advice standpoint, if I don't point out that I stayed until midnight fixing the server, my boss might just assume the server magically fixed itself, right?
Right, you feel like you have to.
Yeah. I mean, self-advocacy is basically a survival skill in the modern workplace, so giving up that credit feels like, I don't know, throwing something incredibly valuable away.
It feels counterintuitive, absolutely. But the lecture argues that the moment you claim the credit, that is actually when you are throwing the true value away.
Wait, really?
Yeah. The speaker breaks down the act of Gonchiza into a very literal transaction. Let's look at the mechanics here.
Okay, lay it on me.
So when you perform a good deed or accomplish something significant, you generate what the text refers to as merit or gong.
Merit, okay.
Think of it as a tangible, positive, energetic force. Now, if you take that newly created merit and you immediately point to it, which is the shiza part, the boasting, you fundamentally alter the nature of what you just did.
I see. So the act of saying, hey, look what I did, actually changes the physics of the action itself.
Exactly. You are essentially trading the profound, compounding, long-term merit of the deed for, well, a burst of immediate, shallow validation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you are cashing it in prematurely. The text argues that if you simply leave the good deed alone, if you create the merit and walk away without attaching your ego to it, nature or the universe evaluates that action on its own timeline.
So it's like leaving money in a high-yield savings account.
Yes, it holds the balance,
Okay.
and it eventually rewards you something far more substantial, like true respect, a better environment, or profound personal growth. But the moment you demand the applause, the universe basically considers the transaction closed. You've been paid. The lasting merit is completely erased.
So instead of a compounding investment, you turn it into a cheap one-time payout.
Precisely.
It makes me think about, like, planting a tree. Creating the merit is like planting an acorn in the ground.
Okay, I like this.
Right. If you leave it alone, nature will eventually grow it into this massive oak tree that provides shade and value for decades.
Right.
But gonchisa, the act of claiming credit, is like planting the acorn, waiting 2 days, and then digging it back up just so you can run around showing everyone that you planted it.
Yes.
You get a few seconds of people saying, wow, cool acorn, but you completely destroyed the tree to get it.
That is a perfect visualization of the mechanism at play here. You are sacrificing a massive future reality for momentary ego gratification.
It's so short-sighted when you put it like that.
It really is. And the speaker's philosophy goes much further than just, losing out on a reward. Yeah, the lecture explicitly warns that when you force this premature transaction, you actually start pulling negative mass into your life.
Negative mass. That sounds incredibly heavy.
It is.
And frankly, a bit ominous. How does an energetic debt or negative mass actually manifest in someone's life? I mean, we aren't talking about floating black holes here, right?
No, no. We are talking about the very real friction of human dynamics. Think about the mechanics of taking credit. When you constantly demand the spotlight, what happens to the people around you?
Oh, they definitely get annoyed.
Exactly. They step back, they withdraw their support, their goodwill, and their collaborative energy.
That makes total sense.
And that withdrawal leaves a vacuum. It leaves a heaviness. You start facing unnecessary obstacles. Projects become harder. Relationships become strained. That is the negative mass.
So you basically created a hostile environment for yourself.
You disrupted the natural, quiet flow of merit for your own ego. And the universe balances that equation by making your environment heavier and more difficult to navigate.
Which makes perfect sense when you think about why the universe, or even just human nature, is so offended by a little bragging.
Right.
It's because the bragging is fundamentally based on a lie. And the lecture is very aggressive about this, right?
Yeah.
Taking credit relies entirely on the myth of the solo achiever.
It is the central illusion that causes all of this friction. The source is absolutely adamant. No one creates merit alone.
Literally no one.
Literally no one. The very idea of isolated success is a complete fiction.
Wow.
Whenever you achieve something, even if you are the one sitting at the keyboard at 2 in the morning, that achievement is the result of a massive, invisible network.
Great, because I didn't build the computer I'm typing on.
Exactly. It relies on your colleagues, the environment that allowed you to work, and the hidden historical sacrifices of countless other people who built the infrastructure you are currently using.
It's so easy to ignore that invisible network. We often use the analogy of an awards show.
Oh, yeah. Let's hear it.
Imagine a lead singer accepting Album of the Year, looking directly into the camera and saying, "I am the sole reason this music exists. I did this entirely by myself."
People would be outraged.
Totally outraged. It sounds absurd because we know there are sound engineers, backup vocalists, the people who drove the tour bus, the engineers who built the physical microphone.
The PR crew.
But what this lecture is saying goes way beyond just failing to thank the sound guy. It's a structural issue.
Yes, it is.
It's like removing the foundation of a building to build a heavier roof. By ignoring the people holding you up, the entire structure of your success becomes unstable.
That structural analogy is exactly what the text is getting at. Let's look at the actual physics of what happens when that singer, or, when you, at your job, claims 100% of the credit.
Okay, what happens energetically?
The speaker argues that when you say, "I did this," you are essentially consuming the merit of all those invisible people.
Consuming it.
Yeah. You are eating the energetic contribution of the citizens, your colleagues, the people who built the microphone. You're absorbing it all right into your own ego.
Wow. So I'm not just stealing their applause, I'm actually absorbing the energetic debt of their labor.
Precisely. And because you boldly took the credit for everything, the universe basically says, okay, well, if you did this all by yourself, the burden is entirely yours.
Oh, man. That is a terrifying thought.
It is. You must now bear the heavy responsibility of all their sacrifices. That is how the negative mass crushes you.
Because you asked for it.
Exactly. You isolate yourself energetically, and you take on a weight you were never meant to carry alone.
And no one can carry that much weight. It's guaranteed to break you eventually.
It is. Which leads to one of the most profound takeaways in the entire lecture regarding what it actually means to finish a task.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Because we usually think a task is done when the physical action is completed, right? Like when email is sent or the project is launched.
Right, you check it off the to-do list.
But the speaker states that the finish line is not the completion of the physical action. The finish line is actually humility.
Wow. The finish line is humility.
Yeah.
That completely reframes the very definition of work.
It has to. Because until you reach a state of genuine humility regarding what you've accomplished, until you deeply internally recognize that you did not do it alone and that you are indebted to that invisible network, the act is considered incomplete by the laws of nature.
That is so fascinating. So it's just left open.
Exactly. And an incomplete action festers. Without humility, the deed remains open. drawing in that bad environment and that negative mass until you finally learn the lesson.
Okay, so if the physics are this clear, if ignoring our interconnectedness literally draws negative mass into our lives and ruins our environment, it really begs a massive question.
Which is,
Why are we all so incredibly bad at this?
oh, that is the question.
Because Gonquista is everywhere. It is the default setting for modern society. Look at social media, corporate culture, politics. We are obsessed with claiming credit. What is causing this massive blind spot?
The lecture actually diagnoses this as a profound global societal failure.
Really, a global failure.
Yes. And to explain the root cause of all this arrogant behavior, the speaker introduces a crucial distinction. The text argues that humanity is suffering because we have completely conflated knowledge with true education.
Okay.
And they are not the same thing at all.
I really want to dig into this because in our modern world, we use those words completely interchangeably.
We do.
If someone has a lot of knowledge, we just automatically call them highly educated. Are we fundamentally misunderstanding what education is?
According to this philosophy, yes, we are. Knowledge is just the accumulation of data, skills, and technical proficiency.
Right, facts and figures.
Exactly. Knowing how to write code, how to build a bridge, or how to analyze the financial market, that is knowledge. But the speaker makes an incredibly bold claim here.
Oh.
The lecture states that while humanity has accumulated vast, almost unimaginable amounts of knowledge and technology, there is currently not a single truly educated person on Earth.
Wait, not a single one.
Not one.
That is a massive, sweeping statement. So, like, if I spend 10 years getting a doctorate in astrophysics, or I build a billion-dollar company from scratch, the speaker is saying I am essentially uneducated.
In the context of this philosophy, yes.
That is wild.
You would possess elite technical knowledge, sure, but you would lack true education. The source defines true education as a deep, holistic understanding of human interconnectedness.
Okay, so it's not about the data.
Right. It is the understanding of how to manage human energy, how to live properly without consuming the merit of others, and how to practice that essential structural humility we just talked about.
I see.
We have been trained endlessly in knowledge, but we've never actually been given a blueprint for true education.
It's the difference between knowing how to build something and understanding why you are building it and how your actions ripple out to affect the invisible chain of humanity.
That's a great way to put it.
We have all the technical skills in the world, but we just don't know how to exist without crushing each other's energy.
Exactly. And the consequence of this massive gap, according to the source, is a global crisis of leadership.
Makes sense?
Because there is a complete lack of deep, true education. The speaker argues there are no truly capable leaders anywhere in the world right now. They simply do not exist.
The lecture actually makes a pretty sweeping claim here, and just to be clear, while we're just unpacking the philosophy of the text rather than endorsing any specific political viewpoints, it is really fascinating how the speaker points directly to the highest levels of global power.
Yes, it's very direct.
The text specifically mentions leaders like United States presidents, American politicians in general, and the leadership within South Korea, stating that they all fundamentally lack this true capability.
Right, and it uses those geopolitical figures to illustrate the absolute ceiling of the knowledge paradigm.
How so?
Well, it's pointing out that you can rise to the absolute highest office on the planet. You can possess all the political, economic, and military knowledge available to humanity. But because no one, not even at the very top, possesses true education right now, those leaders are basically trying to solve profound human problems using only technical knowledge.
Which is never going to work.
Exactly. They lack the wisdom of interconnectedness required to actually lead humanity toward peace and stability.
They are trying to fix a philosophical, energetic crisis with a spreadsheet.
Yes, that's exactly what they're doing.
It's a sobering thought. Our entire global leadership structure is running on high-octane technical knowledge, but the engine is completely starved of actual wisdom.
It's a dangerous imbalance.
So, if we are in this global void, if literally no one is educated in this way right now, how on earth do we fix it? We can't just conjure up true education out of thin air.
No, we can't. And the speaker doesn't just point out the problem. They actually outline a very specific and highly localized call to action.
Okay, what's the plan?
The text places the responsibility for solving this global crisis squarely on South Korea.
South Korea specifically.
Specifically.
Why does the lecture single them out to solve a global human crisis?
Well, the source frames this as a matter of destiny, or like a unique societal purpose.
Okay.
The argument is that it is the profound responsibility of the Korean people to create an environment where these exact philosophical problems, the mechanics of human energy, humility, and true education, can be rigorously researched.
Wow.
The lecture asserts that South Korea needs to act as a sort of philosophical laboratory for the rest of the world.
I am just marveling at how the source scales this concept up.
It's a huge leap, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, think about where we started this deep dive 15 minutes ago. We started with a highly personal, almost petty workplace habit. Hey, try not to brag about your project so you don't annoy your coworkers.
Right, a simple HR tip.
Yeah. And step by step, the lecture scales that tiny human reflex up to the mechanics of the universe, the myth of the solo achiever, the global crisis of leadership, and finally lands on a literal geopolitical and humanitarian mission for an entire nation.
It is a stunning escalation, I agree. But it highlights exactly how interconnected the speaker believes the micro and macro levels of human behavior truly are.
They are basically one and the same.
Exactly. The flaw in how an individual handles a compliment at the office is, at its root, the exact same energetic flaw that prevents global leaders from achieving world peace.
That is heavy.
It all stems from a lack of true education regarding our fundamental interconnectedness. The lecture states that if South Korea can research these missing elements, organize the answers, and present a blueprint for true education to the world, this is how they will contribute to the co-prosperity of humanity.
It really forces you to look at your daily interactions through a completely different, much heavier lens. Every time I want to claim credit, I'm basically participating in the same energetic blind spot that is stalling human progress.
It is a heavy responsibility, yes, but it's also incredibly empowering.
How so?
Well, it means that the path to a better world starts with how we manage our own egos and our own internal humility on a daily basis. You actually have control over that.
Which brings us perfectly to the ultimate takeaway for everyone listening today. If we distill all of these complex mechanics, from the negative mass to the geopolitical destinies, what is the core truth we need to walk away with?
If we pull all these philosophical threads together, the core message from the source is undeniable. Our intelligence, our capabilities, and our achievements are never ours alone.
Never.
Never. They are built entirely on the historical sacrifices, the unseen environments, and the hidden efforts of countless other people. To claim we did it all by ourselves, to engage in gongkisa, is the ultimate failure of education.
We are standing on a massive, invisible mountain built by the sacrifices of others, and we're demanding a trophy for the altitude.
That is exactly it. And the text offers a very clear path forward for the individual.
Let's hear it.
The final thought I want to share from the lecture addresses how we actually correct this imbalance in our own lives. The speaker concludes that living righteously and properly, doing the work and letting the merit speak for itself, is the ultimate way to demonstrate true humility.
So just stepping back.
Yes. By refusing to consume the merit of others, we actively honor the victims and the profound sacrifices of all those who came before us and made our current lives and our current successes possible.
It's an incredibly powerful shift in perspective. We started by picturing that burning itch to point to our achievements, to clearly say, hey, look at what I did.
Right.
But as we've learned from this lecture, the reality of success is far more interconnected and honestly, far more beautifully complex than that. Taking credit isn't just tacky, it's bad physics.
Very bad physics.
So I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over today as you go back out into the world. The next time you accomplish something truly incredible, the next time you solve the impossible problem or save the day, instead of immediately looking around to see who is going to notice your brilliance, just pause.
Just for a second.
Take one deep breath and try to trace the invisible chain. Try to visualize the countless people, the unseen environments, and the quiet past sacrifices that slowly, silently made your success inevitable.